Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Deborah Dada. I am a product designer day today, and on the side I enjoy yapping, and that is why I'm talking to you about my plans. And I'm going to be talking to you about why I moved from being a freelancer to being a 9 to 5er. I feel like people are trying to escape 9 to 5, but me, I drove my legs, I walked my 2 legs into 9 to 5, even when I had like a freelance career going on. So yeah, I wrote an article about this a few years ago on Medium. That was when I talked about the entire process that it took me from moving from freelancing to 9 to 5. And I'm like, I've actually really never thought about this or done an audit or the reason why I made this decision. But it was nice to see that I documented that period of my life in writing, and now I'm documenting it to you in video. Interesting, right? All right, so let's get right into the video. I always make notes, so if you see me looking away, it's just because I'm looking at my notes. If you're new here, welcome. Let me give you a round of applause. Please subscribe so that you will get notifications. Turn on the notification as well, so that when I post new videos, you'll see it, and then you come, and then you listen, and then you have fun. But if you're an existing subscriber, welcome back. And yeah, I know I always give you value, and that's why you're here again, so welcome. All right, so today I'm talking about freelance versus full-time, which is, and then I'll talk about why I switched the part, what I did, and why I did what I did. So first off, my career started as a freelancer. I was always getting gigs. It was not a full-time employment, it was just gigs, and these gigs were based on referrals. And there was a time in my life, February 2021, I could touch on 5 to 6 projects I was working on at once. It was too much, it was overwhelming, but I was not starved of projects. I was always getting projects because of course I did good work, and also based on referrals as well. And I switched to full-time much later. So starting as a freelancer, I had the autonomy of time. I could set the meetings that I want, clients I wanted to speak to. I set the milestones by myself. It's me that will tell you everything. Like, of course we'll come to an agreement, but I was sort of in the direction, I was sort of in control of major timelines, and freedom was actually very exciting. No 9 to 5. I could not relate when my friends were talking about things like stand-up. I'm like, what's that? But because for freelance gigs, it's possibly going to be sometimes in the evening, you schedule the time with the clients, and then you're working them through it. You also have like a number of changes that they can make or amendments to your designs. So okay, I need to set context. Because I'm a product designer, I have the opportunity of creating experiences for digital products. So that's what I do. So there's the part where you can work for multiple clients, and then there's the part where you can also be a full-time employer for a business. So I started my career as someone that I was working for any and everybody, no particular client, no said business. I was just working for different businesses across board, so I could do multiple at the same time. The freedom was good, and there was no 9 to 5, multiple clients. I was working on many products at the same time. Like I said, I was breaking work into milestones that helped me stay organized. So the good part of freelancing for me was I had flexible hours. I was very flexible with everything that I was doing. To be very honest, I could wake up at any time, but it just meant sometimes I could work 24 hours around the clock. I had direct client feedback. I could speak to them directly. There was fast output with what I was doing, not so many layers of complexity, because they were also working with very strict timelines, and referrals came fast. If it was that there was no job, no, I was having jobs. I was always being referred for one job or the other, even though most of those jobs did not see the light of the day. And I'm going to also make another video about that, how freelance projects, most of them don't get shipped, and the work created actually more work. So I also would get my money immediately. I don't have to wait till the end of the month. Once I finish my project, I know a certain amount that I would get immediately. I'm done. The dark side of it was that there was actually no community to grow with. There was no working together with people. it was just I was working in silos, and yeah, I could get like a PRD, but that PRD is all I get. I don't get the opportunity to brainstorm, share ideas. It's just like, oh, do this, and then you get to do it. There was no colleagues to push to. I think I didn't really know the importance of a product manager until I got into a 9 to 5 job, and I was working with different members of an agile team, and I was like, I've been suffering. I don't need chop ever, because I then started leaning on people, feedback, and all of that, and sharing ideas with people, getting ideas from people. But if you work as a freelancer, you don't really get much of that. Most of it is like your own idea. And what if you are facing creative block? How then do you get ideas? Maybe you're able to reach out to a friend to help, but not someone within the jurisdictions of the products that you are working on. I'm sure some other people that freelanced well enough actually got solutions to these things, but this was like the dark side for me. It was hard for me to actually build relationships. I was just do the design for you and get out the door. That's all. And I could not really set some sort of career growth for myself because of that. So working from home made like workload heavier. I was always working. I visited one of my uncles a few weeks ago, and he was asking my friend, oh, does she still work the way she used to work? Because at that time, I was always working. There was no work-life balance because I was at home. So work and the life and the balance, everybody, the table is scattered. But yeah, moving into full-time, which was in 2022, I guess. Yeah, it gave me new structure. I started things like daily stand-ups. It was weird, but it felt like I really did not have to carry the entire weight of the design project by myself. I had other people to share it with. There were sprint reviews where we would go over the things that we have done. It just felt a lot more collaborative as to just being the only one working on the stuff. Then you hear weird things like Ticket, Jira, and all of that. It was a remote team, but still, it still felt well collaborative. It felt like I was working with actual people, and that was the moment I started realizing that Debbie, you're a people person, you are a community person, you flourish around people. And yeah, so it was really good. It was hard, but then it taught me discipline. To be honest, it was hard because I really could not do things in my own terms again, but it taught me to know that for you to actually push through is very important. And one of the major highlights for me was having been in full-time employment was one of the major things that helped my global talent application. Global talent endorsement is sort of like an endorsement you get by Tech Nation that certifies you as a global talent, and it gives you the ability to live in the United Kingdom for I think 3 to 5 years. So because I got that 9 to 5 and worked in that team was one of the major things that stood out in my application process, because it was a product that I was working on as to being a freelancer or a contractor. That period was hard, but I feel like God really set my path as to, okay, this is what you need at this point. So these are the things I learned from being a full-time person, is how to work with other people, in freelancing. Sometimes I never met with the engineer that would build what I've designed. I don't even know whether the product went live or not. But right now, I'm working with a team where I can see what I am designing, what I'm thinking in my head. I can see it out in real time, in real life, and I can feel it. I'm like, yeah, this is how I wanted it to be. And this is functioning exactly the way that I wanted it to be. That gave me so much excitement, to be very honest. I was working with back-end engineers, front-end engineers, product managers, and it helped me also speak language of tech better. I could talk in like the terminologies. I'm telling you endpoints. I'm saying APIs. I'm saying PRs. It was giving, you know what you're doing. It helped me really learn the terminologies of tech, and it helped me go into how engineers think. And then you're not just designing inside, you're designing with them in mind, with the user in mind. It just made a lot of sense being like full-time job. I think another thing that stood out for me is it helped me make friends. But the major thing is it helped me track the impact of the things that I'm doing. When you do freelance, you just design it and then they go away with it. You don't know what happened to the product. But for full time, I could see it real time. I could see that a product I built I built is having 1,000 users, and these users are actually carrying out transactions, and this is working, and people are able to send money, people are able to withdraw money. I was so happy, because of just that reason, because I felt like people were using my products. It was a real thing. It gave me so much joy, and I think that's one of the things that made me rate 9 to 5 over freelancing. Some freelancers got their products to life. Maybe I actually never really did any that got to life. Maybe that's why I do not really enjoy freelance. But 9 to 5 gave me that, and I'm forever grateful for it. It made me make friends in tech, and I was able to define value for myself. I was also able to track my career growth as well. I was able to also see business impact. I've talked about that before, and I was able to get feedback from colleagues. People could actually give you real-time feedback. Oh yeah, this is what you need to do to get to this stage. This is what you need to go do. And yeah, it really helped me a lot. And finally, I think right now I'm in a point where I understand balance of both ends. Not because I want to go back to be a freelancer. No, I mean, at least not yet, but I've been able to understand the balance of both ends. That freelancing helped me build my design skills and project management, but full-time role actually helped me build discipline, teamwork, and long-term thinking. So freelancing set me, is like that head start that I had, like that fight, that shootout that I had. But 9 to 5 actually helped me create a good balance between both. So both actually shaped my career, both shaped my confidence, and I'm super very grateful for both opportunities that I had. But right now, if you ask me whose camp am I, oh my god, I don't know how they say that thing. Where am I camping my tent? My tent is currently at 9 to 5 full-time, as to being a freelancer. Much later in my career, I could consider freelancing, but for now, I'm not doing that. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to share with you today. I hope you found value in it. If you did, please subscribe, please like, please share my videos, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.